seems like Lemoine, the attorney for Team Moronica, or Moron, if you want to go with that, a little shorter, rolls off the tongue nice too, so whatever you like. Team Moronica, their attorney, Lemoine, is writing to Judge Chupp. We'll take a look at this in a moment, but what's interesting is that this is a clear example of this case not being over yet. You have the Kick Vic people celebrating super hard in the beginning when the TCPA dismissals went their way, which they did go their way. That certainly worked out better for them than it did for us. But we're still here. We're still motivated. We still have good morale, and we're still pressing forward. And they're still dragging their feet, wallowing in despair. Why? For example, Amanda Wynn Lee, I think yesterday or today, was making some tweets begging people to help DC Douglas get his Twitter account back because the Vic stands. I saw a random dude yesterday who made a Kick Vic video. This guy says he's Kick Vic, makes a video on it, and that's fine in and of itself. But this guy makes a video 9 months later talking about how bad Vic is and why he's Kick Vic. I'm like, man, you had 9 months to make this video. Why are you making it now? The TCPA dismissals went in your favor. Why are you now making a video on this? Because Kick Vic's not done. You have Emmett Plant asking, well, I don't know if he's kidding or not, to be fair, but there's a tweet from Emmett even asking if he can be a part of a notary for money, to get some money back for his costs for his affidavit or something like that. I forget. I don't really pay that much attention to the guy, so I forget what that's all about, kind of. I'm just pointing out examples of, oh yeah, Dominique Sky. That's another example. Some shenanigans with her, posting a clip of Kamea-Con, her getting kicked out, and then she deleted it or something, and now she's copyright striking people. What's going on? Kick Vic is still crazy as ever. Now let's take a look at this letter. I just wanted to make that intro because I want to drive that point home. The TCPA went in their favor, and they're still acting scared. They're still acting frightened, irrational, all that sort of thing, and I think there's a good reason for it. So let's take a look at this letter, though. From Lemoine, it reads, Dear Judge Chupp, I write on behalf of Monica Rial and Ron Toy. We are working to comply with the court's order of October 4th, 2019, the order dismissing all of plaintiffs' claims and setting a filing deadline on sanctions and attorney's fees on November 4th, 2019. I write to request a formal hearing date for the sanctions/attorney's fees hearing and to seek permission to serve but not file our attorney's fees billing record until time of the hearing. First, because the Texas Supreme Court has not spoken on the issue of what a trial court should review when granting sanctions under the TCPA. We believe that an evidentiary hearing is required. Cites some precedents here. Laundries Inc. versus Animal Legal Defense Fund provides the most comprehensive guidance on elements a trial court should consider under the TCPA and evaluated the elements considered for sanctions under Texas Remedies and Civil Practices Code, 10.001. Cases examining sanctions under Rule 13 CPRC 10.001 require the actual introduction of testimony, depositions, and documents to substantiate attorney's fees amounts. See Net Worth Realty USA LLC versus Denny. So some more precedents there. I'm not going to read all those numbers. Absolutely not. Moving on. To avoid a scenario where objections are raised about a lack of an evidentiary hearing, we request a 2-hour evidentiary hearing the week of November 18th through the 22nd, 2019, or as the court schedule allows. Take a look at the footnotes here. I guess there's some more precedents here. $450,000 sanction excessive and suggesting remittor equal to attorney's fees awarded at $113K, blah, blah, blah. Kenny versus BCG. There's the case. Says, we believe 2 hours is enough time for all defendants to introduce the required evidence for attorney's fees and sanctions. And that's a little bit more here. Says, second, we would request permission to file the requisite attorney's fees affidavits on November 4th, 2019, without attaching the billing invoices, which we would instead introduce at the evidentiary hearing. So what's interesting here is that it looks like, I don't want to, I'm not a legal expert, but this does look like he's trying to run up the bill a little bit. Either he's trying to run up the bill or he's afraid that Ty Beard will have some 4D chess. I don't know, guys. I don't know. I'm not a legal expert. Make of this what you will. But it's interesting that he's asking for an evidentiary hearing for this. And because, on paper, well, let's finish reading this and then I'll share my opinion. Says, if this request is allowed, we would file the affidavits, and in lieu of filing the billing invoices, we would serve a copy of the invoices on plaintiff's counsel on November 4th, 2019, and provide a courtesy copy to the court at whatever time the court directs, for example, on November 4th, 2019, or sometime before the actual evidentiary hearing. We would then introduce the billing invoices into the record at the evidentiary hearing. I will make myself available should the court wish to address any of the foregoing prior to the November 4th, 2019 filing deadline. Now, why I say this is kind of weird to me is because on paper, it shouldn't be very difficult to show reasonable attorney's fees. I mean, you have the billing amount, the hours you worked, the costs associated with your legal expertise or whatever. It's all written up. It should all be accounted for. You just present it to the judge, and the judge will take a look at the numbers, decide if it's reasonable or not, see if maybe he's padding it or not, and decide what to award them for reasonable attorney's fees. Having a 2-hour evidentiary hearing over this is a bit odd, in my opinion, but it's something I'd advise you to look into a bit more on your own. But that's why it sticks out to me as odd. I mean, this shouldn't be such a complicated thing, really. You need an entire evidentiary hearing for it. Is he running up the bill more, 2 more hours? And who knows, he might say 2 hours for the evidentiary hearing and let's say 5 more hours of piecing together the evidence for the hearing and so on and so on and so on. He could also tie it into that and run it up some more there. But I don't really know. What is their final goal with this? I don't really know. We can just speculate and see how it works out. Is he scared of Ty Beard countering by, he implies that not having the evidentiary hearing might cause some sort of issue down the road. Where'd he write that? He said, let's see. To avoid a scenario where objections are raised about a lack of an evidentiary hearing, we request a I can't get that word right. Request. There we go. We request a 2-hour evidentiary hearing. I think it's saying we in front of it. We request. Yeah, I almost want to say It's like when I say tweet, treat, that like tweet and treat. Anyways, I'm sorry. It's so random. But no, that's what I'm getting at. Maybe there is something a little more interesting there. Maybe not, but maybe there is. We have one more thing to take a look at. I was going to say legal document. It's not a document, though. It's another letter. Take a look. This one's a letter from John Volney, attorney representing Funimation. It reads, Dear Mr. Fisher, this letter is to advise the court that I am scheduled for vacation for November 25th through November 29th, 2019. I am requesting that no hearings be set in this matter during these dates. By copy of this letter, I am advising all counsel of record of this vacation. Sincerely, John Volney. That's the weekend of Thanksgiving, so not too unreasonable, I suppose. But for the sake of transparency and completionism and all that sort of thing, wanted to include this in the video and show you all the legal updates on the table at the moment. And of course, we're still waiting for the documents to come out regarding the actual TCPA appeal. I believe that should be coming out sometime around the next week. I mean, I think we're really pushing the deadline. So let me rephrase. We're not really pushing the deadline as in like it needs to be filed today because we did have certain documents in this litigation literally push the deadline to the fact that they were submitted like 15 minutes late. So let me rephrase. We're not pushing the deadline in that sense. I should phrase that differently entirely. Let's go with the deadline is approaching, I think, within the next 7 days or so. So expect an update on the TCPA appeal. Maybe that document will be really long. Maybe it won't be. We really don't know yet. But I think it'll be interesting to go over, obviously. So expect that to be coming up next. That's about it for this one, though. In terms of Vic Mignogna legal updates, here's where we are at. And as I mentioned, that's what we might have coming next. TCPA information with appeals. Maybe there'll be more random documents. I say random quite loosely here, like what we had today. Before then, who knows? But as usual, I'll do my best to get these out to you in a timely manner, and I'll do my best to present an opinion on them in a non-legal expert format. So there you go. I hope you enjoyed this video. I have shouts out for the last video, yesterday's, and before I give shout outs, let me just apologize because in that video, and I really hate doing this, but I straight up lied. I said I was going to have another video coming out that day later on, and I didn't end up getting it out. That's a straight up lie. I take full responsibility for that. I did a live stream later on in the day. Ended up being like a 4.5 hour long live stream. I thought it would be an hour long. Let's just say there was a little bit of complications. Yeah. So that's not an excuse. The complications are on me. I didn't take measurements of certain things I had bought for the new setup, and it just became a mess. I could have planned it out better. But what's going on with that? You see the setup's different. I'm going to get one more shelving set for this side, and I'm going to take some of that off this one so it doesn't look as busy, and it'll be a bit more symmetrical and stuff like that. But yeah, that's the TLDR if you didn't catch the stream yesterday. Just a lot of complications arose in getting this new setup all working and stuff, but that's where we're at. Shouts out for the Blizzard video yesterday. DXDKJ Ambi-Pass Studio, The Lancaster Kid, Fox Waifu for Laifu, Ravenwood, Mr. Anime 343, John Edwards, Sai Kensu 77, and Skelly Kitty, and 13th Honey Badger, wrecked by West Nile virus. All right, thank you very much, my friends. I hope you enjoyed this video. I'll be seeing you very soon. I think I have a Marky video coming up. Hopefully I'm not lying again. Marky video coming up later today. I'll see you in a few hours. Peace.